Hello, everyone. Welcome to our capstone project. Right now, we'll be taking you through our design process for our application, which is called Cohort Care. And the members of the team are me, Josh, Krishnavini, Jacqueline, Janelle, and Bara.
In order to identify some target problems, we interviewed Michael Middleman, a transplant recipient. Some problems included trauma and poor health after receiving the organ, anxiety from being kept on the super long waiting list, unempathetic doctors that were hard to communicate with, and finally, no clear way to connect with other patients and donors for support.
Something that stuck out during the interview was his anxiety he had while being in the waiting list for donors, and during COVID, he became more cautious of germs and stayed home basically every day. He also explained how his doctor slowly became less empathetic as he grew older, and he also wished to meet his organ donor's family.
After interviewing Mr. Middleman and other specialists, we learned about the physical and mental challenges that transplant patients face throughout their treatment. Transplant patients experience all kinds of emotions from excitement, nervousness, anxiety, fear, joy, and guilt, all in the same day. We wanted to help them with their journey by introducing a platform that helps them express their feelings, provide professional help, and uniting them with other people that have gone through the same struggles. Mr. Middleman said that he felt his best when he met someone else with the same disease as his.
Our How Might We statement is, how might we help transplant patients deal with stress, anxiety, and relationships with doctors? Now we'll move on to the positives and challenges we faced. Some challenges we faced were that we had a lack of app developing experience on our team. Although some of us knew how to create apps, a lot of us were kind of new to this whole system. And we also had a bit of an inadequate time to fully develop our prototype. And our last challenge that we faced was our inexperience, which I also mentioned before, and bugs and glitches that we faced with Wix. The positives we liked about our project was that it's a fully functional working application, and we implemented an easily updatable design in order to like release updates or just fix any features we would like. We also are proud of our aesthetic interface and the accessibility of our application, which anyone can access from around the world. Everyone will be now taking you through some of the features of our app, and these features are specifically designed to address issues. Our first issue we wanted to address was the post-transplant stress and mental health, and we address this issue through our calendar logging system. As you can see, there's like the calendar where we can prescribe medicines, have like the schedule for medicines and other events. The next feature we want to talk about is the messaging center. And the issue we wanted to address through this feature was the lack of communication with doctors and donors. We wanted to provide an opportunity for users of the app to communicate with each other and just share and just network. The next feature we want to show you is our blogging system. The issue that we were trying to address with our blogging system was the lack of community and support. So on the blogging system, you can introduce yourself, you can talk about anything you would like. You can also remain anonymous if you would like, but yeah. And then our last feature we wanted to talk about was our support group mapping. And we wanted to address mental health through this feature because meeting up and seeing each other in person will allow you to form bonds and connections with other people.
So now I'm gonna tell you guys my elevator pitch. We're gonna start off with a quote. The quote is, "Without the organ donor, there is no story, no hope, no transplant. But when there is an organ donor, life springs. From death, sorrow turns to hope, and terrible loss becomes a gift." This is a quote from UNES, the United Network for Organ Sharing. You might be wondering why we brought up this specific quote. For starters, it's very related to the problem our app is trying to solve. When we talked to Michael Middleman, a patient who's received 3 kidney transplants, we learned something. 2 of his transplants were from dead donors, while 1 was from a living donor. The one thing all 3 had in common was that he had never met the donors or their families. We realized that having an interaction with the donor or their family was important, since the donor is key in saving the patient's life. With this in mind, we created an app called Cohort Care. Our features include a private messaging system featuring patient donor, and patient-doctor messaging, a blog with an anonymity option, a calendar that tracks diet and medicine intake, an alarm system for medicine, a map to search for nearby conferences, therapists, and support groups, and finally, an impact survey for patients, doctors, and donors to give feedback and contact each other. We designed these features of cohort care with the intent of bettering transplant patients' overall experience. Thank you.